Hey there. I am posting this video outside because my son is sleeping and my husband is on a work call. And so I just wanted to come outside. It's cool because we live right by his school, so I can hear kids playing, and I always love that sound. So I'm sharing this video because I felt like Jesus put it on my heart to involve you guys in the ever evolving process of my testimony and my healing. And so I think that it's important for you guys to see what God is capable of doing. And for me personally, in my relationship with God, the way that He communicates with me is sometimes pictures in my mind. And I saw a picture in my mind of a video of me in the process of my protocol. And I haven't started it yet today because I usually start at about an hour from now, maybe a little bit less than that. And I will say that maybe for some of you, like, it's going to be kind of challenging to watch the video, and I totally understand that. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, honestly, because yesterday I didn't sleep during the day at all, and that's all I've been doing during the week. And the days before yesterday, I wasn't able to talk at all during the day. And yesterday I was talking. It was very jumbled and slow, but I was talking. So who knows? Maybe today isn't as hard to watch as the days before. So I wanted to share as if like you guys don't even know who I am, and just share a little bit of my story in this video. And I'm going to try to really condense it because there's a lot to it. And which I think there's going to be more to come with videos and postings and different things, because I come alive when I'm creating and doing content. I just feel Jesus. I feel His presence really strong, and I just feel my soul coming alive when I do that. Any kind of creativity thing, I love it. So my name is Nicole. Some of you know me as Nanny Nicole, and about 2008 or 2009, I was in a situation where I had several, 30 plus ticks on me, and they were C ticks. And I just kind of went through that weekend not really thinking anything of it other than like I was totally traumatized. Just imagine having that crawling on you. So, and my poor mom had to help me get all of them off of me. But we just went on about our lives, and then I started noticing I was getting sick a lot. And it was just like cold after cold, or I would get the flu, or I would get strep, or I would have, I have Epstein-Barr virus, so I would get mono again. And it was just like, this is crazy. And it was getting really hard to function in life, like working. And, at the time I was planning on my education and going to college. And so fast forward a little bit to like 2010, I think it was, or 2011, I was on my way into, I'm sorry, give me a second, Conway. I was on my way to Conway for school. And I just heard very clearly Jesus say that my family was going to heal me. And that day, I was walking through the science building, and they had cleaned the whole entire building with bleach. And that started the only thing I know how to describe it is as mast cell activation, or my body just started allergically responding to anything and everything. And so, fast forward again to this year. So the last year and a half has been very hard for our family. We had one of the most beautiful things happen to us almost 2 years now. We had our miracle boy, which we were told, by the doctors that it just wasn't going to happen for us. Like, just kids weren't in our cards, and, it's just going to be you two and your family. And we were fine with that. We came to a place of being fine with that, I should say. And really, by the time that we just said, okay, God, we trust you. And if it happens, that's amazing. And if it doesn't, then, it just wasn't meant to be, and it will be okay. And we'll make it through. Like, we are not defined by whether or not we can have children, which I think that's a big thing for some of you. Any kind of pressure that you're feeling where you're defined by whether you have a man or a woman in your life, or if you are able to have children, like, don't let society define you. God defines you. So anyway, I just felt like I needed to say that. So yes, we had our miracle boy, and he has just been absolutely wonderful. And so then we were just enjoying that time. And then after that, like I said, about a year and a half now, it's just been a very hard time. Our family and friends that are like family have gone through very hurtful things, and just different pain points in our lives. And then the beginning of this year, we had a death in the family, and that was really, really hard on me, which I'm speaking about my uncle Mike, and he's the one I'm making the joke book for, just to tie all the things together. But after his death, it was just like the perfect storm, which is crazy because before his death, I was doing amazing. I was working out like 5 to 6 times a week, and I was just strong, and there was awesome things happening in the community center where Jesus was like encountering people. And it was just really beautiful. And then it just hit hard, just a deep sadness, obviously, for the things that we were already going through, but then also the death in our family. And then I had a series, like 6 different viruses hit me back to back. And during this whole thing, I'm still a nanny. I'm taking care of the sweet little Kay, and my son, and just trying to do life the best that I can. And then I had a chemical reaction to, or an allergic reaction to chemical exposure, and that caused pneumonia and different things in my body. And then from there, I just had Lyme flare up again, which I didn't say earlier, but that was part of it. Like, all of the ticks being all over me and everything, I did end up getting Lyme disease, which really sucks. I hate Lyme disease, just throw it out there. But in 2016, I was miraculously healed. And it was Christmas Day, and there's a beautiful story that if you want to hear about it, you can private message me and I'll share it with you. But radical encounter, I went to heaven, all the things. It was just beautiful. And for up until now, I wasn't having any kind of symptoms. I would have like sickness here and there, and like COVID and different things were hard, were harder for me. But it didn't turn into a flare up until 2024. So I wanted to share all that to say this. I believe that there is an epidemic in our world, and it's shame. And I believe the only way that we can really tackle shame and get out of shame is to be vulnerable and to share the hard things and be uncomfortable. I love Brene Brown and some of the things that she says, her books. I love The Gifts of Imperfection. I've read it like, I don't know, 10 times. I don't know. I've read it a lot. But one thing that she says is that shame is like a swamp. And the only way to get out of shame is to go through it. And there's been different times that, you know, I've had thoughts that someone is thinking, and I would just be like, hey, I'm thinking this. Is this what you meant by what you did, or whatever happened? And then we were like, no, that's not, you know. So there's a great dialogue that happens there, and that is the reason that I'm sharing the real and raw of our life, because I think people need to see that things can be hard, but God is still good. And I do not for a second believe that God has anything to do with my sickness. I refuse to make any kind of, hey, real life happening here. I refuse to make any kind of like theology or anything off of sickness with God being the bad guy, or me being the bad guy. Plain and simple, I got into ticks that had disease, and I got the disease. And but I do 110% believe that He heals. And you know, that the big part about the word that God gave me on the way to college that day, I don't even know if I said it yet. That shows how my brain is still healing. But what He told me was that God was going to heal me through my family. And so if you will just take what I'm saying and like a puzzle, kind of like operate and like work around it, help it make sense, because I know that things are a little bit jumbled. And so that, you know, that's part of it. That's part of lyme, which is what I deal with. And but it just spoke to my soul. It shook my bones. And I just knew that I needed to take hold of it. And when He said, your family will heal you, it just solidified in me that this isn't gonna be permanent. That I don't know how long it's gonna be, but He was gonna heal me this side of heaven. And so then after I had that, you know, exposure to the bleach and everything, it was wild from there, really wild. And again, like I said, if you want to hear anything more, just private message me, and I'm pretty much an open book for the most part. If I feel like Jesus is saying to share it, I'll share it. So that was one thing that I heard. And then the beginning of this year, during the process with like the viruses and all the different things, I also heard that, you know, we are one. Like Christ has made us one. We are one body, and He is the head. And so if that's the case, then why can't I have my friends and my family share their healthy cells with me? Why can't I receive health? And so I shared it with a really, really good friend that's like a dad. And he's like, well, let's do it. Let's go after this. And so he's like, I'm sending you my healthy cells now. And we just are, you know, and our small group went after it, and it was powerful. And he said, God told me that He wanted me to speak life and light into my cells. And so that's something I've been doing for a few months now. And there's power in that. And I know I've mentioned that before, but there's power in that. So I know this video is longer, but I just felt like I needed to get on and share almost like a disclaimer for the next video that's going to be on here, which will be me in the process of my protocol. And I'm not going to give any details to what I'm doing, but if you are curious and you want to know about my journey and what I'm doing, or you have health issues yourself that you're not seeing any kind of results, private message me and I will share. But I'm not going to make it public because I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV. And even though my protocol has been suggested by a doctor, I just want to be careful, because everybody is different and everybody responds differently. And so it's really important, if you are in connection with your doctor, to take their advice and to follow their wisdom, because God gave us doctors for a reason. So I'm going to end this video and I'm just going to say, listen, if there are hard things that you're going through, it is not impossible. Even the word impossible says, I'm possible. And I'm possible because Christ is in me and Christ is in you. And we are one, so we've got this. Like, my victory is your victory, and your victory is my victory. And if one of us is suffering, then the body's not whole. And so we have to go after wholeness, because that's what the kingdom is. It's glorious and beautiful. So I just speak blessings over all of you, and I hope this video has blessed you, and I hope it helps you understand a little bit more of what our situation is. And like I said, there is a lot to the story. It's been over a decade now that things have been going on, so there is a lot to share. It's been most of our marriage, but I can't imagine our marriage being any stronger. It's just beautiful, really beautiful. So I hope everyone has a blessed day, and I will be posting that video soon. And like I said, if you can't watch it, it's okay. It's okay. There's dear friends of mine that they have a hard time with me making jokes about my physical stuff that I'm going through, because they're just mad at the fact that I'm going through it. And that's so sweet and amazing, and that's the way that they love me, and I'm so grateful for that. And you know what? We're mad too. We get mad. It's okay. We're human. I think we're supposed to. I think there'd be something wrong if we're like, oh yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. I can't walk, but it's fine. So just being real. But I love you guys, and I will be on again soon with the next video. Bye.